Welcome back to Inventor's Tic-Tac-Toe tutorial, Day 5, iPad edition. In this video, we're going to attempt to make the two really deep storage holes that go on the top of our tic-tac-toe board, and we're going to attempt to cut them at the exact same time. Coming over, let's look at our technical sketch. We need to figure out what's going on with these two holes. So we're going to come look at the top view of our part. Again, you're going to notice a leader line saying that there are two holes this time, and then it gives us some information about them. So the first thing it says is the diameter. The distance across the circle is 0.75, so this is a much bigger hole than we did before. And then the depth is going to be 3.25. So these are really deep holes because we need to store 5 marbles in each of the holes so that you can play the game. Other things that you notice on here, the circle from the edge to the middle is 0.75, which is exactly 1/2 of the total, which was 1.5. Okay. I also see the distance from the side to the middle is going to be 1 inch. So it looks like there's 4 different numbers we're going to have to figure out. We're going to have to know the diameter, the location up and down, the location left and right, and then finally the depth. Coming back here, we are going to go to File, Open. One thing I want you to notice, in the last video I was playing around with the keyboard. I was shrinking it down. Now every time I click, the keyboard wants to pop back up. 2 things you can do. You can close all the way out of Citrix, but I already know right off the bat I'm going to want to pinch this keyboard off to the side because that's how I'm going to want to use it, and then I'm going to keep moving forward. So I'm going to go looking in my H drive. I'm looking for my demo. And we're going to open that up. We're going to go up and start a new 2D sketch. And we're going to select the top of our part this time. Click. Sometimes when you click the top, it comes in looking like this. If you see right here, the word top is sideways. Up in the navigation cube, you have these little flip arrows. If it ever comes in not how you want it, you can always spin the view to get it the way that you're looking for. So I'm going to turn this and make sure that I see the word top, and then I'm going to click on the word top so that it centers everything in the middle of my screen. And now we can come and do a center point circle. I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to click somewhere on here. Doesn't matter where you click for now. Try your best not to grab any of the dashed lines. You notice if you hover over different lines, they go blue. Try not to grab any dashed lines. For now, I'd like you to just put a point anywhere on top of your part. Using our shrunken keyboard, I'm going to type in the diameter of my circle, which is 0.75, and I'm going to hit return. So I have a circle that is the right size, but it needs to be located left to right and up and down. So I'm going to come grab my general dimension tool. We can start with the left to right. I'm going to do a dimension from the left side of my part to the center dot of my circle, click, and I'm going to place this off my part in between the arrows. My left to right distance is going to be 1 inch for both of these circles. So right here, I'm going to use my keyboard, put the number 1 in, and hit return. So now it has moved it left to right. While I still have my dimension tool in my hand, I'm going to do a dimension from either the top or the bottom. The top line to the center point. Those were 2 clicks. Moving my pointer, my third click places the dimension. And now we need to locate this up and down. The distance from either the top or the bottom, both are going to be 0.75, adding up for a total of 1.5. So I'm going to type in 0.75, return. I've just taken my circle, I've sized it, I've located it left to right, I've located it up and down. We're going to actually draw the other circle at the same time. I'm going to come up and grab the center point circle. Trying to be very careful here. You're going to notice those dashes start to pop up depending on where I move my cursor and what I'm snapping onto. If you want, you can try to avoid them. There is one that I know is correct. This dashed line is coming directly out of the middle of that other circle, and I know that this hole is supposed to be the same dimension up and down. So if you grab that dashed line, you're okay. I'm going to click to place the center. I'm going to put in 0.75 and hit return. I now have a circle that's the right size, but now I need some general dimensions. I'm going to grab my dimension tool. I'm going to start with my right to left dimension, clicking on the edge, click, clicking on the center, click, and placing the number off my part, click. This is going to be 1 inch from the edge. Just to verify, I'm going to do a dimension from the top of my part, click, to the center dot of my circle, click, and I'm going to place this off to the side, and you're going to notice that it is already perfectly 0.75, but it's always good to verify this and put the dimension on there. So we have our 2 circles. We're finished with our sketch. To complete this, we want to come to the green Finish Sketch check mark. I'm going to go to my home view right here in the navigation cube so that I can see everything. And now we're ready to extrude. When I click extrude, you're going to notice it doesn't select either of the circles. That's because over here, you're going to notice some errors. It wants you to select some profiles. So if I draw both of them at the same time, that means I need to extrude both of them at the same time. I can't do one and then the other, or they're going to disappear. So I'm going to take my mouse or my pointer, and I'm going to come in until I get that circle to highlight red. When I get the circle to highlight red, I'm going to click. Then I'm going to take my mouse and come over. Actually, let me just show you what would happen. If I clicked OK, you're going to notice the other circle went away, and that one is extruded the wrong direction. So I'm going to escape and undo, and we're going to do this the right way. Extrude. Select one of your circles, Let me pinch my keyboard. Carefully make sure you select the other circle because they're both going to do the same thing. Next, we need to select cut. And finally, we're going to select distance A, and we're going to type in 3.25. And then we can click OK. So these are really deep holes that are going to allow us to store those marbles in there. Really quickly, I want to show you what happens when you extrude both of these, but you type in 3.25 first. 3.25, and then you go, oh yeah, I wanted to cut. But if you leave this cutting out of your part and you click OK, it's going to give you an error because you're attempting to cut nothing. You're not cutting into the part at all. I'm going to cancel that. The issue that popped up is when we did cut. I'll even put the number in first, 3.25. When we do cut, because we did the number first, we have to manually select the flip direction. So it's something to always watch for and verify that you both have it cutting and going in the right direction that you want. Clicking OK, expanding my keyboard and dropping it down. I'm going to come up to the top, grab my quick save icon, make sure I save my part into my H drive. It is all updated and you are now done with all of the holes that you need for your tic-tac-toe part. Good job, and I'll see you in the next video.